So, the North has an advanced logistics network, and it is supported. It is supported by advanced and experienced logistics players, which provide critical support to the industries that are in the North. And in conclusion, the Northern region firstly has an experienced logistics network. It has an extensive infrastructure investment made by the federal government, a dedicated hand-holding team, extensive engineering-based skill sets that are industry relevant, and most importantly, the soft side. The 40 years of evolution has created a set of business culture that is able to transact easily with multinationals. So with that, I end my very short presentation. Thank you.
Discuss any specific question you can ask now. Otherwise, we can get to the end. Appreciate the opportunity for investment. I think the point emphasized by the Redza is the question of we have already established the value chain and supply chain, transport logistics, and is ready to invite our partners from Europe, the European Union, to come in and invest and trade with us. Right? Okay. If otherwise, we'll continue with our next speaker, the services sector.
Thank you, Dato Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. Initially, I was getting worried just now because there are more people on stage than on the floor, but it looks like more people started coming. Anyway, I'm representing my chief executive who's away on business. I'm going to divide my talk into three parts, I think. First one is just a little bit of explanation as to who we are, for those who do not know yet. And second one, I think what we do. And the final one as to where are we today. Okay? So, the region of Iskandar, Malaysia is at the southern part of Peninsular Malaysia, covering an area of 2,200 square kilometers, which is about 3 times the size of Singapore. IRDA was formed to actually manage the planning and the development of this region. We were formed 5 years ago. I think we were probably the earliest of the corridors, and I think based on what Dato mentioned just now, we are very, very small compared to the other corridors. I think probably we are the smallest corridors. Anyway, as an area in southern Johor, it covers some, I think 11% of the state area, but it holds about probably 50% of the population. Okay? So that is a bit of history of it, and I think most of the people here has been or know where it is. We've had some delegations coming from EU over the last, I think 15 months or so. We hope to see more of you guys coming down there, because there's a lot of interesting things that are happening or will be happening. Okay, so how we divide ourselves is that the area is divided into 5 different, we call it flagship zones, A, B, C, D, and E, which I will explain in detail what is happening around there. What we do, I think we just do basically 3 things. The first one is actually the planning, the overall planning for the entire area. Second part is the promotion or promoting the area, and the third one is facilitating. Yeah, basically, you know, we handle investors' inquiries right all the way until helping them with the approval of the various areas that is required for development. We have 9 promoted sectors, which consists of 6 areas of services. So I've been asked to actually focus on this. I think apart from the 3 traditional manufacturing areas or sectors, which covers electronics and electrical, petroleum and food, there are 6 other service areas, which are financial sector, logistics, education, tourism, creative and healthcare. And in each of these areas, there's a number of things that have been attracting investors or currently happening on the ground. Today, I'm happy to share that we have some 88 billion worth of investment that has been committed, of which about close to 38 billion are already actualized on the ground. And I'm also happy to note that I think the EU forms I think some 13 billion of that investment. Okay, single biggest investor is actually coming from Spain, which is the steel plant that is currently being built in Iskandar, Malaysia. Out of this 88 billion, the split is roughly about 60-40, 60 coming from the government sector and 40 from the private sector. It has been seen also that from the 40 from local and 60 from foreign. The government has actually invested quite a fair bit as well, and we have seen actually a multiplier of about 10 to 11 times. You know, for every single dollar the government spends, we managed to attract something like 11 or 12 ringgit worth of investment coming from the various sectors. I will now talk about what's happening right now. So just now I mentioned briefly about the various flagships that we have in Iskandar, Malaysia, which is A, B, C, and E. If you've been down there, quite simply, A is the central area, which is next to the causeway. Yeah? This is the city center area, where the focus is actually on urban tourism and heritage initiatives. Also, a little bit of financial services that is starting to come in A. The next one, if you move westwards, yeah, the B is largely a greenfield area. This is where I think there's been many announcements and investments in this area, which is spearheaded by a number of catalyst investors, led by Khazanah-owned companies or associate companies, which is Iskandar Investments and Land Berhad. You may have heard that this Lego Land is opening sometime in, I think, October this year. And EduCity is performing pretty well. I think we have quite a number of international universities coming in to set up their faculties there. University of Newcastle School of Medicine has already started, I think to be followed by Southampton, Reading, and a few others. And also Marlborough College will be setting up shop, I think, sometime every year. Yeah. So we will also have the Maritime Institute and so on. So I think that is happening pretty well there. And I think come 2013, you're going to see Pinewood Studios opening its doors. This is, I think, their first foray into the Asian side of the business. Hopefully we'll see production of the likes of James Bond movies or whatever coming from there in 2014 or 2013. You go towards west further, you have the port of Tanjung Pelepas. This is one of the 3 ports in Iskandar, Malaysia. Is, I think, rated number 18 right now in the world as far as number of TEUs moved per year, that kind of thing. Is growing. Next to it, we have a World Heritage Site, which is the Ramsar site. Yeah? It's basically a mangrove protected area, pretty large. And you have a whole island of mangrove just off the coast of western Johor. Now, if you go to the east now, I'm sure you've heard of Pasir Gudang. That's largely manufacturing, petrochemicals, and also now a few universities are also setting up shop there, mainly the local ones. You also have Port of Tanjung Pelepas, so 2 ports on the east, 1 port on the west, and finally, if you go to the center part, which is as you come in from KL, this is flagship E, which is the Senai area. It has international airport, and recently they've just opened, or one of the first EPPs in the country, I think, the Johor Premium Outlets. I think some of the ladies may have been there shopping. So they're going to open phase 2 very soon. It's developed by Genting. So a lot of things, in a nutshell, has happened and will continue to happen, inshallah, in Iskandar, Malaysia. I also do not want to, we also do not want to forget about the social side, which we have to balance with the economic side. So we're not only talking about economic inclusion, but also the social inclusion. So there are various programs being run under the social agenda. That's the first thing. The other thing, I think we're also looking into areas under NCIA, for example, like safety and security, and so on. So transportation is also a key requirement which we're trying to help, help improve. Infrastructure development has always been there, either in the form of new highways. Yeah, there's a new coastal highway that has been completed. There's the Eastern Special Link, and there's another Saru Highway towards the other side. And not forgetting, I think there's a major development. Probably Dato Isaac will mention afterwards about the Rafiq project, Petronas. Although it's not in our area, but I think we're pretty excited about it as well because of the spillover effect that may come into our area. So with that, I thank you.
Good afternoon, Dato Chairman, members of the panel, and distinguished delegates are present here. I did a count, there are more than 50 people here. Thank you very much for staying back. Now, I'd just like to quickly introduce to you the East Coast Economic Region. The region covers the states of Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, and the district of Mersing in Johor, which is actually 61% of Peninsular Malaysia. Although it is 61% of Peninsular Malaysia, we have got focused clusters that we focus on in terms of economic clusters: oil and gas, tourism, manufacturing, agriculture, and education. This is actually our primary focus. And the whole intention is to accelerate the growth of the East Coast Economic Region. And our target is to reach an average GDP growth rate of about 6% per annum. Because the principal objective is to correct the regional imbalance. The West Coast is already very advanced. The East Coast is neglected, so that is our principal objective, how to balance this imbalance that has occurred in the country. Within the ECER itself, we have got 7 growth nodes. In the north, we have the Kota Baru South Island growth area, so that is actually the cross-border linkages and development.
And of course, we have coal, quite abundant of coal, and as well as natural gas. This has allowed us to price our energy very competitively and encourage investment of energy-intensive industry coming into Sarawak. In addition of that, we have abundance of natural resources and availability of huge tract of land, and it has helped to trigger the industrialization process in Sarawak. The scope plan is to aim to actually put Sarawak on a higher economic path, growth path. The government is eyeing more than 200 billion worth of investment over the next 20 years. And so far, we are on target, well on target, in fact. In 1 year alone, we have attracted, I would say, about 30 billion worth of investment so far. As planned, the infrastructure development within SCORE, we have received the most attention. The roads, the port facilities, the water supply, the airport. These also have been given special impetus by the federal government. Private sector investment has been the main reason for the rapid growth in this area. This in turn have actually given rise to employment opportunity and the race to secure skilled and technical workforce is among the most intense today